November. I have buttoned up my garden plots completely for the year. This was my second plot. So I cleaned as many of the weeds up as I could, and I put some pine bark, I think it's pine bark mulch over it. I will not have this garden plot, I don't think I'll have it next year. At least it's not leased yet for next year. So like I said, I cleaned it up, and there's still some weeds poking out, but I did as best as I could. This plot was extremely overgrown with weeds, but overall I did a really good job. I covered it and it's done. The good thing about this mulch that I like is that come spring, it should be really easy for whoever has this garden plot to just rake it up, and if they decide to. Some people till it in, some people plant around it, but if they want to, they can just rake it up very easily and put it in a bag and compost it or whatever it is they want to do. So that's the good thing about this long strand pine bark mulch. And I got it from Home Depot. But I may try to come and clean up these weeds along the side. And then this here, I only had like a fourth of this plot. And I'm going to keep the mulch over it. I'm not going to have it next year to my knowledge. But the soil that's under the mulch here is really, really nice soil. So I'm going to keep it on there for whoever has the garden next year, because the mulch really did do a good job covering and preserving the soil. This is where I had the potatoes. And like I said, the soil under it is really, really nice. And then this is my garden plot, number 11. And I will have this next year. I have officially planted my garlic out. Again, this is just a combination of different garlic. I don't know where I planted what. I just took all the bulbs and planted the largest ones. So I've covered it with mulch, and it's planted out. And then the rest of the garden, I have weeded, pulled back the fabric I had on it, and then I applied some mulch on there, just the regular mulch, Easy Seed. I think, what is it called? Easy Straw. There's the bag there, upside down, of course. But that's what I use, and that's what I use at home. So hopefully next year I'll come back and I won't have as much weeding to do. That's my goal. I'm not sure if I'll till this mulch in or if I'll plant around it. I'll decide that next year. But yeah, that's how the mulch looks after it's been used and in the ground for a while. I mulched this probably back in, I don't know, July or so. But like I said, the soil under it is really, really nice and preserved, has lots of worms and beneficial insects and things. So I have a little separation here so that I know where to start planting. Again, my garlic is in this part, and I do have a garlic bed at home as well. But yeah, so I have the rest of this to plant out. Not sure what I'll put in here next year, but I'll decide on that later. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you an update on my garden bed at my plot, my community plot. This will be my one for next year. I did use some of that, and then I used all of that. Hopefully the person who has that next year will not have as much weeding to do as I had to do this summer. So I've never used this pine bark straw mulch, but it seems to be really nice. Like I said, whoever has it can just rake it away, or they can till it in, whatever they decide to do with the bed. Bye bye, garden. See you later.